Coming up, protests pop up after recent events in the Middle East.
And later, the university opens up a new getaway for students.
Questions surrounding Iowa football during the bye week.
The September scorcher is slowing down, but is it the end of the heat in Iowa City? All of the answer in weather.
All that and more
Coming up right now on DITV.
Good morning from Iowa City. It is Wednesday, September 25th. I'm Jordan Tovar.
And I'm Jace Bertrand.
And the third member of our team, Ryan Paris, is live outside to tell us today's weather story.
Ryan, how long will these mild days be sticking around with it being the beginning of fall?
Thanks, guys. If you were here right now, you'd think that these mild days would be set to continue. Here at Hubbard Park, it's 57 degrees and sunny out. It should warm up to 76 degrees in the afternoon, and the sun should be out all day. In the evening, it'll drop to a low of 58 degrees. Tomorrow will be a near carbon copy of today, with high 50s and sunny in the morning, and then a high of 78 degrees in the afternoon. That's going to be a theme for the rest of the week, but I'll have the full forecast coming up later on in weather.
With tensions rising in the Middle East, Iowans are protesting government actions abroad. DITV's Kayla Smith has the reactions and concerns from protesters.
I'm here at the Pentecost where pro-Palestine organizations have come together against recent violence in Lebanon.
Bargain, you can't hide.
We support genocide! With Monday being considered the deadliest day in Lebanon since 2006, multiple pro-Palestine organizations put together what they called an emergency protest to speak out against the conflict in the Middle East.
Bomb everything they can bomb in Gaza. They bomb the hospitals, the schools, the places of worship, the houses, the infrastructure, the water, the food.
With the presidential election being just 40 days away, many protesters used the demonstration as a chance to express their dissatisfaction with the current administration's handling of the war in Gaza.
And this president, Biden, I also deeply regret voting for him 4 years ago.
Several speakers highlighted the federal government's tax policies and financial support for Israel as key reasons for the protest.
Now with the reward of another $20 billion, they can perhaps go on and do what they've always wanted, is to take over all of Lebanon and Syria and perhaps some of Egypt.
Our government support supplying weapons, supplying money for the extremist government in Israel.
The federal government wasn't the only focus, as many protesters called for action from local government officials and candidates.
Christina Bohannon has not once said that she supports the ceasefire.
These organizations plan to protest every Friday until peace is achieved in Gaza. From the Pentecost, this is Kayla Smith, DITV.
Israel has claimed they have killed a top Hezbollah commander in an airstrike yesterday. Both Israel and Hezbollah are firing missiles at each other, and over 490 have been killed in Lebanon. Israel is urging people in Lebanon to leave their homes so they can fight Hezbollah. The escalation comes after Israel detonated pagers used by Hezbollah's members in Lebanon last week. A poll conducted by the Des Moines Register reveals Iowans' opinions on the state's new law on abortion.
In the newsroom is DITV's Felicity Manning with the results of the poll.
Thanks, Jace. Most Iowans oppose the new law banning abortion after about the first 6 weeks of pregnancy. The results of the poll say 59% of Iowans oppose, 37% are in favor, and 5% are not sure what they think. 69% of Iowa women oppose, 27% are in favor, and 4% are not sure. 48% of Iowa men oppose, 46% are in favor, and 6% are not sure. 25% of Iowans say abortion should be legal in all cases, 39% say it should be legal in most cases, 26% say it should be illegal in most cases, 7% say it should be illegal in all cases, and 3% say they are not sure. This abortion ban prohibits most abortions in Iowa once fetal cardiac activity is detected. The only exceptions include rape, incest, fatal fetal anomalies, and to save the mother's life. Iowa's ban is one of the nation's most restricted abortion bans. Back to you in the studio.
A recent poll on Senate job approval gave Rob Sand the upper hand. Statewide elected officials gave Sand a 53% approval rating. Meanwhile, Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds' rating continues to drop. Her rating dropped down to 45%, 5 points lower since the last poll in June, tying her lowest rating. Brenna Bird lost 3 percentage points with an approval rating of 39%. Some bars in Iowa City have implemented new security measures. DITV's Hannah Lipsky has the new measures being taken.
I'm at the Ped Mall in downtown Iowa City, the center for nightlife. And bars have been beefing up security like Reunion and the Field House. They've implemented metal detecting wands to keep people safe.
A shooting incident over the summer made some bars weary of weapons. In the early morning of July 20th, 2 men exchanged gunfire in the middle of the Ped Mall. 2 bystanders were shot in the crossfire. And over the past year, concerns of guns in bars has risen.
Kind of picked up the wind, pat downs there, using a wand, just kind of making people feel a little bit more comfortable coming out, feeling more safe in the bar, just because they know what's getting in and what's not getting in.
Some patrons agree with the additional safety, while others feel the protocol left them open to discrimination.
I've heard there's been a few guns in there this year, so I feel like my safety's been upkeep this year, and I would say I'm supportive about it.
I feel like I was going through airport security, but at the same time, it might be beneficial to some people or to some extent.
And it's like a violation of privacy, I feel like, honestly. They go up, you know.
It's only like Mexicans and colored students. Like, I have a friend, like, he's antique, same time. Dude doesn't even get asked what's in his waistband, you know.
The Field House has been transparent on their push for tighter security, but Reunion refrained to comment on the topic.
Patrons have mixed opinions about these wands, but overall, they're meant to keep people safe and coming back in. From the Ped Mall, this is Hannah Lipsky, DITV.
In light of the recent school shooting in Georgia, some Iowa schools are taking steps to improve students' mental health. The school offers students mental health resources such as counselors and have practices in place to practice healthy mental health. Ernest Horn Principal Kristen Cannon has emphasized the importance of mental health support for students.
We really talk about how we are all different, but all are human beings, and that we need to respect our students and support them in what.
By helping students, the school is working towards maintaining mental health throughout the school. And the annual U.S. News Report released new college rankings Wednesday morning. Rankings for many Iowa programs have changed this year, including writing, business, and nursing. The UI College of Nursing is the top public nursing program for the second year in a row, and Iowa holds the best public writing program in the country, but has fallen from 5th to 9th among all public and private universities for writing. The National Blue Ribbon Program has honored 5 Iowa schools to represent educational excellence. This honors program recognizes schools with the best academics, student achievement, and growth for over 40 years. Schools can only be recognized for this award once every 5 years. Each of Iowa's 2024 schools performed in the top 15 of all Iowa public schools regarding proficiency, growth, and graduation rates.
Climate Fest celebrated its second day at Big Grove Brewery in a special way. I was able to stop by the event and learn how the community can get involved. As part of the 7-day event, the gathering at Big Grove recognized the 1-year anniversary of the Fare Free Bus program in Iowa City.
And it's really to celebrate the successes of taking climate action by the city and the community.
Climate Fest also celebrated the work of Iowa City Public Libraries and recognized the role they play in sustainability.
Right, we share a collection, we renew and recycle and reread by bringing materials out into the community and then letting them take them back in so that they can be enjoyed by everybody else.
Community members were invited to Big Grove Brewery to visit the bookmobile, write down their favorite parts of the Fare Free program, and participate in a trivia game about the transit system in Iowa City.
It's just joyful to see the community come out and celebrate and understand ecological sustainability better.
These activities promoted the role the community plays in conservation.
The community is really responsive to their values and their goals for our collective society.
Visitors were also provided resources and information on conservation.
If they have questions or interested in certain resources, we really want to connect them with those resources.
Climate Fest hopes to see more visitors and participants join the festivities, which continue the rest of the week, including a community song and movie night tonight. On Thursday, residents have the opportunity to create an electrification plan with coaches at the public library. And to wrap up the week, several local climate organizations will share progress made in cleaning up city streets on Friday with an electric car show on Saturday. DITV will have more as the week continues.
A place to relax. The University of Iowa opened a new space for students to unwind. DITV News Director Johnny Valtman covered the opening of the new space and how it could benefit students.
The new Student Disability Service Lounge has been open since the beginning of the school year, but had an official open house yesterday. Located in the University Town Center inside the Ped Mall, the idea was brought up last year and now takes the place of a former classroom.
It's exciting to see where it went from last September, and in less than a year from like this space being identified, it's open and students are utilizing it. So just really excited that it's finally here.
Campus partners, university administrators, and students attended the open house, including University President Barbara Wilson. Wilson praised the student leadership and all those involved in creating the space on campus.
So I really give the student leaders a lot of credit for pushing on this and for pressing us to think about a lounge space for students to hang out. I'm really gratified to hear that it's open to all students.
Any current or future student can access the room using their Iowa One card. The room was designed based off of a survey sent to students. Features of this room include adjustable tables, adjustable lights, books to educate students about disabilities, and other sensory-friendly features.
Trying to create like this sort of calm, having some pieces that it can be low sensory, but some tactile items as well.
As students juggle schoolwork, jobs, and social lives, the lounge is there to offer a getaway spot for overwhelmed students.
I remember a lot of people saying that they wanted a space on campus where it was quiet. So that would definitely be helpful, is if someone didn't feel like they had a quiet space on campus, that this would serve that purpose.
With midterms coming up, University of Iowa students now have a place to rest and study. From the University of Iowa, Johnny Valtman, DITV.
Coming up later, a seaside dish gets a celebration.
I'm certainly excited, Jordan. You almost have to pinch me. I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, I'm just shaking with excitement, Jace.
But right now, we're going to send it back out to Ryan for the rest of the week's forecast.
Guys, fall weather is right around the corner, but first we have a few more warm days to go. Taking a look at Carver, the sun will be out until Friday, and then the clouds will roll in for the weekend. Despite that, there's almost no chance of rain over the next few days. We're looking at a high of 77 degrees on Friday with a low of 55. In the high 70s with cloud coverage until Sunday afternoon. Despite the sun re-emerging on Monday, the temperature is largely going to be the same as the weekend. But once we get to Tuesday, it might be time to throw on a sweatshirt. It'll touch 63 in the afternoon, but hang right around the high 50s for most of the day. Back to you guys in the studio.
I can't agree more because, they scare me, but I love it so much, so we're going to send it to AJ Reister to give us more on the sports for the week ahead.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Even though the Hawkeyes are off on Saturday, which makes my weekend a little bit more open, this bye week is still important to set up for the rest of the season. Coming off a big win over Minnesota last weekend, the bye week will give them a chance to reevaluate where they are. And while they take a step back, Iowa's coordinators have been happy with the intensity and growth at practice.
Offensively, kind of chasing consistency really in all phases. We have shown improvement from week to week in certain phases, which is fun to see.
I think everything has to be detailed, and that's why you have practice and just keep on doing it. We have growth, right? We're growth, and every season's the same way. You're getting better and better and better each and every day, and that's why we practice.
The Hawks have opened the season 3-1, and with a big win over Minnesota this past weekend, they looked their most complete as a team against the Gophers, with the offense and defense working cohesively. However, the Iowa coaches acknowledge there are things that definitely need to be cleaned up on both sides of the ball to continue to have a strong year.
It's a team game, and whether somebody didn't jam somebody or somebody wasn't playing half coverage when they're supposed to, there's multiple things that go on that we have to get corrected for that.
When you can run the ball, the question is like, what runs are hitting, so you can build your pass game off of that. As far as the drop back passing game, we just have to be better. We have to be more precise with everything we do.
Soon for next week's game when they travel out to Columbus, Ohio to face Big Ten title favorites, the Ohio State Buckeyes. And two Hawkeyes made national headlines after their performances in the win over Minnesota. Running back Caleb Johnson earned the Doak Walker Award for Running Back of the Week. Johnson was also named Big Ten Co-Offensive Player of the Week and is the first Hawk to post 4 straight 100-plus yard rushing performances since Mark Wiseman back in 2012. And freshman punter Reese Dakin earned the Ray Guy Award for Punter of the Week after averaging nearly 47 yards per punt and placed 3 inside the 20 against the Gophers. And another Hawkeye duo is taking center stage. DITV's Assistant Sports Director Brady Barron is live outside Carver Hawkeye Arena. Brady, Clark and Martin were electric in the black and gold. How are they doing in the WNBA?
That's right, AJ. Both Clark and Martin have brought their talents and their fans to their new WNBA teams for this postseason push. First, Clark's Indiana Fever are the 6th seed after finishing the regular season 20-20 overall. They played Game 1 of a best-of-3 series on Sunday to open up the first round of the playoffs and fell to the 3rd-seeded Connecticut Sun 93-69. Clark finished the Game 4 for 17 with 11 points and 8 assists. The Fever will play Game 2 tonight at 6:30. You can catch the action on ESPN. Martin, fellow Hawkeye Megan Gustafson, and the defending world champion Las Vegas Aces entered the playoffs as the 4th seed and defeated the Seattle Storm in Game 1 78-67. They advanced to the semifinals last night after an 83-76 win. As the rotation gets tighter, Martin has yet to see the floor this postseason, while Gustafson has played in just 10 minutes across both games. The Aces will take on the top-seeded New York Liberty when the playoffs pick back up September 28th. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Brady. Always excited to see former Hawks continue to find success after Iowa. But Iowa volleyball, still here in Iowa City, starts Big Ten play on the road Thursday night. The Hawkeyes travel to take on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, and Iowa is currently on a 2-game losing streak and will look to turn it around in New Jersey. Malu Garcia and Dominique Fils have impressed so far this season as freshmen. It will be up to the 2 outside hitters to energize the Hawkeye attack tomorrow night. And Dave Diani and company will play at home Thursday night in a top 20 battle against Penn State. Iowa soccer has yet to lose a game this year and have drawn 3 times, 2 of which being against ranked opponents. The Hawkeyes have leaned on goalie Macy Enneking this season, and the graduate student has yet to allow more than 1 goal in a game and has garnered 6 shutouts this year. Iowa will need her at her best if they want to take down the 15th ranked Nittany Lions. And Iowa women's wrestling assistant coach Gary Mayab is set to be immortalized forever. Monday marked a historic moment as Mayab was unveiled as a 2024 inductee in the Missouri chapter of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. With a career spanning over 3 decades, Mayab's contribution to the wrestling community was significant, from wrestling to coaching to refereeing. And as a wrestler, he became a U.S. Open finalist in 1990 and a 4-time Olympic trials qualifier as a coach in Kansas City. He also added 7 state championships to his resume. Mayab will be honored on Sunday, October 20th during a ceremony in Jefferson City, Missouri. Guys, that's a look around the sports world this week. I'll send it back to you guys for the rest of the news.
Thanks, AJ. We have a lot of stuff coming up for sports. Maybe we'll get ourselves a good winning streak going on, hopefully.
I mean, Jace, I'm certainly hoping so. I think it boosts morale around here anyways.
And speaking of boosting morale, we're going to send it right back outside with Ryan to give us the rest of the weather.
Have you guys noticed an increase in the amount of birds in the sky? Well, that's because the birds are back. It's the beginning of migration season, and over 400 million birds are starting their journey south this week. While 4 million birds crossed Iowa yesterday, that number is expected to pass over 50 million per day for the rest of the week. Since most birds make their flight in the evening, the Iowa Department of Natural Resources recommends turning off unnecessary lights to help the birds find their way. Eastern Iowa is expected to see the highest volume of birds this week. Jordan, Jace, back to you.
Thanks, Ryan. And calling all my crazy crustaceans, today is National Lobster Day. Now considered a high-class meal, lobsters used to be known as peasant dishes, and they were so unpopular that some states banned prisons from serving inmates lobster more than 3 days in a row. The meal's reputation has improved a lot since then, and lobster tails, lobster bisque, and lobster rolls are a staple of seafood dining. I'm a big fan of the lobster bisque. Jordan, give me your favorite lobster recipe right now.
I'd have to say lobster fettuccine alfredo. And you know what my favorite song is, Jace?
Let's hear it.
Rock Lobster by the B-52s.
That's a really funny one. Sometimes I just jam out. I just like to hear and I just start dancing around. I love the song so much.
Hey, well, thank you for joining us online or listening on KRUI 89.7 FM.
We are here live from Iowa City every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 a.m. and online anytime at dailyiowan.com.
For Felicity Menning, Brady Barron, Ryan Paris, and AJ Reister, I'm Jordan Tovar.
And I'm Jace Bertrand. See you again on Friday morning right here on DITV.